It's not the best one. It's not the great one. You're speaking with the juiciest one.
Los Angeles, a town where gridlock truly means captive audience.
What kind of message is that? It's hopelessness.
Elder maintains the black community is being fed a diet of racism by black leaders who encourage a so-called victim mentality.
Being a victim gives you a feeling of comfort, of security. After all, I didn't screw up, they stopped me. After all, it wasn't my fault I didn't get the promotion, they stopped me. I don't have the job I want, the car I want, the wife I want, the spouse I want, the date I want, because they screwed me. The playing field is more level now than it's ever been, and the biggest factor in determining whether or not you're going to be successful is your willingness to work hard. That is my message, that is my credo, and for that reason I'm called a racist Uncle Tom. It's a joke. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, once again, the court is back in session.
Elder, a 44-year-old lawyer, holds court from the studio and makes conservative judgments about everything. Take the caller who wants to soak the rich.
The rich don't pay their fair share of taxes? Stick it to them. How dare you get up early, work hard, stay late, start a business, and earn more money than the rest of us? Larry Elder, Talk Radio.
In talk radio, a slap on the face is a badge of honor.
Blacks exaggerate the significance of racism. Affirmative action is wrong. Medicare should be abolished. Want more fatherless kids? Fine. Keep welfare.
Black leaders keep saying it, and many, many white leaders keep saying the same thing, that the major, number one problem in this country is race. And you're saying they're wrong.
Oh, it's nonsense. The number one problem in this country is crime. Come on, the black middle class is thriving. There are more black elected politicians than ever before. There are about 1 million black managers and administrators. The income gap between the average black man and the average white man continues to narrow. How could race be the most intractable problem in America? It's nonsense.
But not too many black callers. Randall, you're on the air.
I mean, you can see it, the joblessness, the unemployment, the beatings of the police. You know, I lived in South Central LA.
Randall, I believe that your mentality is as large a problem as the racism that you're so concerned about. What you are telling people is the cops hate you. The criminal justice system hates you. Everything is somebody else's fault.
I think he believes in what he's saying, but I don't think he has evaluated the impact of what he does.
Connie Rice, one of the leaders in the fight to keep affirmative action in California, feels he is doing great harm. He would say that one effect of the traditional African-American leadership in this country is, in fact, to hold people back and to create what he calls a victim mentality.
Victims don't stand up, call their abuse for what it is, march into court to get it changed, demand a change in this country's culture, and then help that country achieve that change. That's not what victims do. In my mind, victims suffer their abuse in silence.
Come on. You're against affirmative action, right?
I am.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, there it is right there. Come on.
Affirmative action is premised on 3 things, all of which I reject. The first is the white man can't be trusted to do what is in his best interest. It is in the white man's best interest to hire the most talented, the most qualified. The second is you owe us. Who can't make that argument? When does it stop? Where does it stop? The third premise, hardly ever stated out loud, is that we can't make it on our own. We're not good enough. We can't compete without a boost. And I most assuredly reject that.
What would you say, though? Someone says, look, you're against affirmative action. You're a product of affirmative action. Mm-hmm. And people could accuse you of saying, I got mine, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm. And that's an allegation that has been made. And I've been quite candid that I've been a beneficiary of affirmative action. And I respond to it this way. Are you saying, but for affirmative action, Larry Elder would be jobless, homeless, and broke? No. I was going somewhere. And this is Larry Elder, absolutely quite positively no S, a.k.a. the Sage from South Central.
He calls himself the Sage from South Central. He grew up in that part of L.A. filled with contradictions. A tidy, house-proud community, and yet, in parts, brimming with anger and violence, both of which he rejected. He graduated near the top of his class at Crenshaw High School, then went on to Brown University, and then the University of Michigan Law School. He then started a successful executive search business in Cleveland, gave it all up, got divorced, and moved back to L.A. and barged his way into talk radio.
I did it because I felt I needed to make a difference. I'm looking at the country. I'm looking at black on black crime. I'm looking at a country where 50% of the prison population is black, where 70% of black children are born to unwed mothers. Something is very wrong here. And racism cannot account for all these problems. Jesse Jackson I was a valiant, gallant warrior for civil rights. Jesse Jackson II doesn't have a clue.
He is a man with a mission to debunk, he says, the constant stream of civil rights invective. He writes op-ed pieces, does the talk show circuit, publishes a monthly newsletter called The Elder Statement, and pushes his message of self-reliance to the young, using Michael Jordan as an example.
Did you know Michael Jordan was cut from his high school varsity? Michael friggin' Jordan cut from his high school team. Think about that.
Orgullosamente latino hasta la muerte y después. Worldwide Latino pride, the ambassadors of violence. LAX, K-Dog, the notorious 187 homicide. Bang the dang the dang dang. Don't say nothing. Bang the dang the dang dang. We be dumping. Bang the dang the dang dang. Just act like you know and homie stop rocking through stomping. I'm from Miami, not Compton. Down with the essays in the 6-4 hopping. To my Boricuas in the 787. And those up in Brooklyn pulling 211. I come through stomping, rolling in my low top chucks, making sure you suckers feel me every time we buzz. Shackled up like a nut, going 5150. G'd up and the feet up, creased up in some dickies. I rap a lot, like the label out of Houston, sneaky like the club.
Hey, watching the Impact 1000 episode, turns over the sky. What I want to know is, how is it possible she never made it to WWE? I know that we live in snowflake times, but let's just be realistic here. She's one of the hottest women in the history of wrestling. She should really have been a model instead of a wrestler, but it's baffling to me that Piper Nevin can make it to WWE, while Velvet Sky is making indie appearances or getting short-term deals in Impact, NBA, etc. K100, do you happen to know if there's a reason why she never got the shot? Does Velvet Sky have a bad reputation backstage? P.S. I really loved your interview with Bobby Fish. It was nice to hear a guy willing to speak his mind. We always speak our mind, so it's nice to hear a guy come on our show to speak. You know, it's funny. Like, I wonder if Bobby Fish felt like he can come on our show and speak his mind, and like is worried about speaking his mind on other shows. Like so.
I guess real quick on Bobby D. I guess enough time had passed because when I first contacted Bobby about coming on, he was pretty specific. Like, man, I don't want to dig into the dirt. Really, I don't want to talk about punk. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, but that was months ago. So when he came on, he just let loose. You know.
Because we keep it 100 here, like you know.
Right. Plus, let me tell you something to Joe. Let me explain something to Joe Di real quick, okay? A lot of people, Joe, had now heard about the K100 rub. Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio again. When they weren't doing nothing with him, then he's on our show. Guess what? He's a U.S. champion. Okay, the two Canadian boys that are up in AEW got hired mysteriously after they were on our show. Bro, he wanted to get the rub. Fish, we just gave it to you. You're welcome.
Okay, I got a lot to say about Velvet Sky. Velvet Sky is my favorite female wrestler of all time. Okay, because she embraced the concept of sex appeal. She wasn't the best worker on the planet, but she was serviceable, which is all you need to be when you're that hot. And she good on the mic, very intelligent. She's like educated. Like she looks fantastic, you know.
And not only that, and let me tell you, bro, she could cut a promo, and she also was kind of like a girl's guy in that she likes sports. That you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like metal. Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't give. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know. That's very weird because I've never heard any stories about her backstage. I've worked with her maybe once or twice. Both times she seemed very cool. Oh no, she worked in AAA too, and she was very cool.
We should get her on the show. She's very smart, entertaining, opinionated. Plus, too, she's got a very interesting list of guys she's dated in the business. Like she dated Shane Helms. Oh, she dated Shane. Shane for a while. She did
Long
Chris
time.
Sabin
You
for
know
a
what
while.
Shane Helms reminds me of? Let me just say this. Before you finish. Shane Helms reminds me of a little bit of like, remember that guy Scott Bale?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know this, but I read this not too long ago. Like when he was young, he was smashing everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I
Pam
think Shane
Anderson.
Helms is the same way. Anything that was in the North Carolina, South Carolina, area was probably he was smashing.
Well, it's interesting because Shane was always dating in the business for a while. Then he
Was
started
he?
dating. He dated a girl outside the business. Like he brought her in the club and
Who
stuff.
did he
And
date
I
in the
met her.
business? I don't remember.
Velvet Sky and Daphne.
I think
I
Victoria.
didn't know he was dating
I'm not
Daphne.
mistaken. If
Yeah,
that's wrong, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, he was hanging out. Him and Daphne
When
were
she was in
you know,
WCW?
yes, yeah, for I was on. I think it
Yeah,
was on
bro.
the.
Those
It wasn't
are my
so much.
Soma years. Those are
Everybody
known
knew.
as the
Right.
me and Raven share this moniker. Those were the lost years.
Right.
Okay.
But
So
Velvet Sky, I think she's a Yankee fan and stuff.
I
But
believe
she
so.
she
Yeah.
likes sports.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
very
Yeah, bring her on.
And I thought
Yeah,
I always thought she was
Joe
super.
would like that.
She was super hot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, and
Put,
I
Yeah, I
put
don't.
her on the list too.
and then let's be honest, bro. The beautiful people that should have been a WWE gimmick.
Right.
That
That
was a
got over
perfect-
super big.
They used to
Right.
get they used to draw the highest quarter hours. Yeah.
They were
Always.
drawing super numbers. And
I'm
so it's
surprised they
fascinating to
didn't.
me
That's a
why
good
they
point.
didn't.
That's a very
Why did they not bring them into the WWE? They were
You know what
drawing
they
massive rating jumps in Impact, and
It-
you would have think like, well, who are we gonna get? Let's get those two. But they never did. It was I don't know. I'd love to
that
know
was
if there was
definitely made for
Yeah.
WWE gimmick. Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah, Angelina was in developmental and got cut, and that's when she went to Impact. And Velvet,
Really?
like, was on the periphery. She would do heat matches and stuff. And then, like you said, she dated Shane, so she was around. And then she was around later when she dated Bully Ray, and he came back and said, like, I'm sure they are well aware who she is. I don't know why she never got a shot. I agree with Di.
Okay, now you said Disco. She dated some guys in the business. Who? So she dated Shane and who else?
Sabin.
And Bubba Ray.
And Bubba
She
Ray.
was dating
Sabin?
Yeah, Sabin.
Okay, Sabin. All right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people figured, I think people used that as a reason years ago. What Velvet's not going to go to WWE because her and Shane broke up or something, right? But after Shane got
he
that,
didn't have
he
that
was in
type of juice.
right? That's just internet. Because when he had
Right.
that motorcycle accident, the first person to kind of put together like a GoFundMe and have his back was Velvet, and they weren't dating anymore, So
I didn't
there you
know
go.
that.
Yeah.
See, that's why it's good. Anything that's either romance or dating, or serial killers or Boy Scouts, Joe's the guy to go to. All right, continue.
Next is some Garth F. Killing Machine. The subject is exposed booking. Do you think that Adam Copeland, signing with AEW is a perfect example of how Tony Khan has zero plans at all to push or create original stars? I'm a huge Edge fan, but even he himself has said that he's all beaten up. Tony Khan bought a second-hand car that's going to need work on within a month. Something like Edge versus MJF would be fun and all, but who is this really helping? P.S. Do you think that Tony Khan will book Adam Copeland versus Adam Page for the Adam on a pole match? That was actually mildly funny. This was awful and I was suspended, but I just would want Hughie to make the Spider-Man meme for YouTube. All right. Oh, for the pointing stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's suspend him anyway, Garth, for that, even though it was mildly funny.
Now
one week. No,
so
let
that's
me say this. This guy's just hating on Edge showing up in AEW for no reason. Obviously, I'm gonna give it. Bro, Edge is a good professional character. Cuts great promos. Doesn't slap his thigh when he works, or do the stupid stand in the ring and like form each other back and forth. He's gonna bring. Hopefully, he'll be good for that locker room. Because I would like to see him work one of these AEW indie darling guys that slap the thighs all the time or something, and like kind of set him straight with like how to work. Because bro, how much better has Luchasaurus's work gotten ever since he's been with Cage?
Oh yeah, very noticeable.
Like way better. Like 100%. He's more of a monster than a than a indie lucha thigh slapper guy. And I'm wondering if Edge is going to go in there and working with these guys that are let's be honest. They're egregiously doing work with the way, like they're doing all the indie stuff. And Edge is going to work with these guys, and I wonder if he's going to work their style or they're going to work his style. And I think working with his style is going to improve the work at the top in AEW, which they need, because too many guys are, that show is just like I literally watch that show, and I turn it on at work on Wednesday night at 8:00. It starts on the West Coast feed. And at my job, I have like a good 2 hours there where I'm kind of like, it's slow. I sit in my chair, I have the computer on, and I watch it, right? As soon as these guys start doing all the thigh slapping and stuff, I literally just stop watching the match. I get completely disinterested. And I wonder if there's a lot of people out like me out there like that get disinterested when they see this phony, fake wrestling, thigh slapping, stand there, let the guy punch.
But let me say
all
one
that
thing.
shit,
I heard that something had happened in the club and you needed to be reprimanded because they said emergency 85, 86, everybody on deck, and you were like, wait a minute, not until I finish seeing the Riho versus Emi Sakura versus Willow Nightingale.
Oh, yeah.
Shikita, or what's her name? Shikita. Who are they? I don't even know the names of the Japanese.
Shido. What is her name?
Shida.
What's her name?
Shida. Yeah.
Shida Riho.
Shida.
Yeah.
Bro,
let me just say
one of them, I don't know which one it is. I think it's Riho, bro. What I'm gonna tell you is true. I walked next to her in backstage in Impact, bro. She looked like she's a girl that should be in elementary school.
Yeah, she's like 90. It's like 85 pounds, right?
Yeah, and short. Very nice. All the Japanese are nice, but
they're very polite. Like
who's she supposed to hurt? Unless you're putting in with somebody her weight, who is she supposed to be a threat to?
This looks like domestic violence. Like if you I mean, seriously, you're gonna go in there against Chris Statlander? It's like, come on, the girl's gonna like that. That's not.
I'm still
fair,
a big fan of Willow Nightingale going out with her eye bandaged, and then when the thing came up, there was no medication on it. There was not like a black and blue or something, right? It was just a normal eye. Come on, bro. Just make the extra effort. That's all. How hard could that be?
I mean,
Logic says, I think she sprayed mist in her eye, and her eyes. That's why she's wearing that eye. Why didn't you take the extra 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes to make it look like if it did come off, which it did.
Yeah, put a contact in or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Or do it old school Steiners. Remember when the Steiners actually punched each other for real?
Right.
And I think one of them actually, I don't know if it was them or if it was Ricky Steamboat, did use sandpaper on his face.
Yeah.
Bro, that takes a long time to come back.
Next is from Garth F. Killing Machine. The subject is exposed. The subject is.
No, that's the one you just did. That's the one you just did.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Next one is from. Let's do about 10 more here because we're getting long. Did a very comprehensive mailbag tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have like a siren emoji, like a sound effect you can play, like police or something?
You need does that use software or what does it use, Joe?
All right.
No?
I can put anything I want on there basically.
Okay, because
well,
we need a siren emoji for this next email. Okay, like it's an alert.
And concoct some Jamaican horns, bro, when we want to put people over.
Yeah.
Because it's from Mike Holder.
Okay.
The subject is Jade Cargill and Larry Dumbass. What's up, guys? So it's been a minute. I want to take the time to thank all of you for the amazing content over the years. Konnan, you're great as always. Joe, you've come a long way and best producer in the game. And Disco, well, you got that nose thing and the Shake Shack gig going for you. My question is, after NXT, who should Jade face off first on the main roster, Raw or SmackDown? And who will she be booked like a black version of China? Now on to Larry.
Okay, before you say that,
go ahead.
Before you say this, when he did when he put over Disco for having the Shake Shack gig, that would have been the place to put the Jamaican horns. Just so you know. Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyone who tells someone to pull up to a K100 meet and greet in Philly so he can shut me. It's easy to be a tough guy on a smartphone. So Larry, your clothes, your shoes, your house, and I hope you fall down a flight of stairs.
Wow, come on.
Oh, and to his cheerleader Droppy D or on Discord, too. You, Larry. Sincerely, Mike Holder, aka the evil ring announcer. Holder, let's give this guy a 6-month ban, Konnan. By the way, hang on. He's got a PS. Jed Frankfurter, we could probably get an episode done on the Ebony Ivory podcast if you do your part of the prep work for the show, you schmuck. Wow.
You want to explain to people what the Ebony, for those that don't know about the Ebony and Ivory podcast?
Yeah, it's two Mike Holder and Jed Frankfurter are two longtime listeners of the show, so they kind of met because of that, and then they wanted to do a podcast.
One of them's African American, and one of them is a white guy. So yeah.
One of them, no, to be more specific, one of them is like a BLM supporter. The other was a MAGA Republican.
Redneck. You want to get with there, yeah, right?
Yeah,
right.
So they thought they could approach different. They thought they could approach different issues on the podcast from the perspective of a white fella, perspective of a black fella, and it always ends in like hideous arguments and like personal insults and threats. And I hold it to go to his house.
The ironic thing is they were talking about racial harmony and it ended up in fisticuffs.
Yeah,
they only done one episode.
If they would have been in the same room, would there have been punches thrown? Maybe.
Joe. Oh, absolutely. Holder's got a short fuse. There's no doubt about that.
A Confederate flag and a BLM flag.
All right, next one's from Don Keepin. Subject is Braun Breaker booking burial botch. I just finished NXT. Konnan, you been watching NXT, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. I just finished NXT No Mercy, another great show, but I have to ask you guys about the booking of Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin. I fully meant to not know a single thing at all about wrestling or wrestling booking. But as a fan, I'm not sure what they're doing with Braun Breaker. When NXT was rebooted, Breaker was booked as their top guy, and he's so strong to the point that a lot of my fellow marks are picturing him as a potential star of the future that can maybe even be the person selected to end Roman Reigns' title run. This is before Cody Rhodes' return. But in No Mercy, Breaker has gone from being the babyface top guy to now losing a match to a heel on the mid-card to Baron Corbin. Again, I know nothing, so I'm all ears, but do you think booking like this is helping? NXT has a reputation for keeping certain talent down their way too long and only to move on to the main roster when they've missed their window. What do you think, K100? Well, I'll go back to the way they botched the push of Cross onto the main roster when Vince turned him into the Gladiator and took Scarlett away from him. Like they just bro, it's like I don't know. I mean, on that show, I think what they try to do is. Because remember, Konnan, when like Shotzi and like a lot of these girls were wrestling these like 12, 15-minute matches on the show, right? And we're sitting there saying to ourselves, well, they're obviously doing this because they want to see if these girls can carry a match on Raw for 12 to 15 minutes, which is like, the main shows are doing 12 to 15-minute matches. So they're like literally like putting them through the process of like training for that match. Everything they're doing with Braun Breaker, I would suggest is like just trying to get him up to speed on the main roster because, dude, like perfect example. If you would have thought, if you'd have been watching NXT and these characters right here, Austin Theory, Damian Priest, and Kevin Cross, right? Who would you have thought when they went up to the main roster in order would have been the guys that they were pushing? You would have thought Cross, Priest, Theory. But it's like literally the opposite. It's like Priest is like the top guy, Theory's the second guy, and Cross is like kind of like an afterthought right now, right? Bro, all they do down there, like anything they're doing in NXT, you can have no clue what they're going to do with these people on the main roster. Other than they're just training them to wrestle in spots and do promos and have matches against heels and like they're putting them in positions to wrestle on the on the main roster because bro, it's still a developmental company. The NXT is. It's a developmental brand. They're developing the talent.
And not only that, piggyback off of that. I gotta believe that they're putting against Baron Corbin because Corbin's a good worker.
Right.
And they're like, okay, if he can have good matches with Corbin, he's ready. But let's wait till we're ready to bring him in, because I really think Braun Breaker. I hope Baron Corbin gets another chance because he wants to go back to the main roster. That was her name, Candy Stratton, or what is it?
Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton. Probably what's her name? Raquel Perez, is that her name? What's
yeah.
The little Mexican girl's name? What's her name?
Or is it Rodriguez? Raquel Rodriguez?
I don't know. No, the one in NXT, dude. Raquel Rodriguez.
I don't know. You watch it, I know.
Yeah, bro, but I just don't remember her name right now. And she was actually trained by Daga, who works in AAA. And she trained with Booker T too.
Yeah, no.
Anyways, her. If once you find the name, let me know. Roxanne Perez, right? Yeah. Very charismatic, can wrestle. She's just very short, but they push her pretty hard. Like I can see Trick Williams, I can see Carmelo Hayes, I can see all of them in the main roster within the next year. But they gotta, pick the right time. But they're all going there, But I don't see they're doing anything wrong with Braun Breaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think it was a matter of because he's been portrayed as being, one of the top guys in NXT? You think it was maybe one of those situations where they say, "Hey, let's see what this guy reacts to a loss"?
Dude, it does no, it doesn't matter.
No.
The philosophy there is obviously NXT is a developmental brand. Just put these guys in positions, everything. But like, what we're not going to do is marry them into the main roster. Well, they're actually kind of doing it now. Where like they're showing I love the way when they Endeavor bought them, right? And I wonder if somebody from Endeavor said like, "Hey, why don't we have like some of these like other fighters in the crowd during the show? Like, remember they were like showing like Trick Williams in the crowd on Raw. Like when we have a UFC pay-per-view, they show other fighters in the crowd like watching the event. So like I'm wondering if that's like a thing they took from UFC. They're just trying to introduce these people to the audience by sticking them in the crowd. Like, hey, here's Tiffany Stratton, and you look at her, it's like, wow, that girl's like attractive. It's like, okay, well, she's an NXT champion. It's like, oh, let me watch NXT. But it's like, okay, now she's up on the show. Now she's challenging Becky Lynch. So it's like, okay, that's bro. There's no downside to that. Like that's all upside promotions, just trying to get people over quicker and like see how it works and stuff, and it works. It's like the WWE brand right now is pretty strong. They're selling out. The ratings are up. The pay-per-views, your business is doing good. It's a perfect time to integrate some of these talents into the main roster slowly but surely, because they're going to get exposure, which is why the NXT is doing better It might be why NXT is doing better numbers right now. Like they're piggybacking off the numbers of the main show, and they're like, we're integrating these people in the thing. Like we're bringing Baron Corbin in to work with the talent. He was. I don't care what anybody says. The guy is an over talent. Like you can't sit there and say like the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, always used to Corbin until they saw his character work, which the guy's a really good actor, which is why he does all these silly, these.
And a good wrestler, bro. He had a great finishing move.
Right.
Yeah.
He wasn't bad. He just like his physical presentation just looked kind of mid. He was like Baron Corbin. He's like a, we're like medieval.
Just a boring guy.
So, just like a boring
bro.
Look.
And then they really dropped the ball, which this is what should have gotten him over. I don't know why it didn't work. One of the reasons was he dressed like when JBL was his manager. He should have gone out in a suit with the hat. Remember? I think they did that once, once the angle was nearing the end.
But I was watching. I remember we've been doing the show for years. I remember when I was watching his work in like the NXT. It's like, bro, the guy throws a good punch. He looks like he can fight. His work's like, there's nothing. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. That he's getting the tape, but he had the crown, the corny gimmick. There's something like they're still trying to figure out. Like maybe they keep sending him down to NXT because they're trying to figure out, we need to hit it on this guy's character because this guy has a lot of value. He knows how to work. He's a decent sized guy. let's get him in a gimmick which fits him because just none of them have really hit it yet. And I wonder if that's what they're doing with him. Because
bro, imagine this, okay? Imagine how over Corbin would have gotten if he would have if all of a sudden you see JBL and him like walking down a field, right? It's nighttime, and he's like, "Where are you taking me?" He goes, "Shh, don't worry." He goes, "Where are you taking me?" And he gives him those night vision goggles. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he puts on a spotlight. There's a whole bunch of men. Get the Texans. Get the.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Looks at him and goes, "That's my son, bro." How much would he have gotten over?
Oh yeah, huge.
Right.
And plus, too, I follow the guy on Instagram. Me and him would get along huge because he drinks bourbon and he cooks. He cooks steak.
Great steaks.
Yes,
I've seen that.
Yeah, so me and him would be good.
He was a Golden Glove boxer. He probably follows boxing, which we like.
And he's a huge football fan too. He's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. So like we
really?
Me and him would totally get along 100%. Like so.
Right.
Konnan, did you watch SmackDown?
Yes, I did. Boom.
So they hit a 2.319 on Friday.
Okay. LA Knight comes out. The "Let me talk to you" line. Heyman immediately interrupts him. Heyman said he has a history of recognizing who the next great star would be, and he kind of points out this Knight. Crowd does the LA Knight chants. Heyman gets. Knight asks Heyman if he was done running his fat jowls. Knight thanked Heyman for the kind words and said he wasn't buying it. Jimmy told Knight to shut his mouth. And Jimmy told Knight that they were there to tell him he wouldn't make it to Fastlane. And they were about to enter the ring to attack Knight. John Cena's music played. And while Heyman was, he ran to the ring with Jimmy back down while Heyman pleaded with Solo, who eventually got out of the ring. And Knight said the heels looked like they were looking for a fight, but they didn't have permission from their little chief. Knight said everyone was talking about Fastlane, but he was thinking about tonight. And Knight challenged Jimmy to face him in a match so he could punt his to the moon. What do you think about this opening segment?
Well, first of all, incredible pop when he came out. And I'm glad that they stopped building him and maybe miss his chance to blow him up. It was very telling that Paul Heyman was kind of taking shots at him going, "Oh, he's just a flavor of the month." Right. Put him over huge. He said that he was going to be like the next megastar, and just put him over, which I don't know why you would do that as a heel. But anyways, I knew Cena was going to come out. What else was going to happen with Solo Sikoa and the other guy was in front of him, and it got a big pop. So it goes back to what I always say. I've seen a lot of wrestling, so have you and Joe. So a lot of times we can guess stuff, but newer fans can't. And when Cena came out, he got a big pop, even though I knew he was coming out. Right. And I think Heyman actually said something about being the master puppeteer, which kind of goes back to CM Punk line.
Well, there with Joe, it looks like the market on your $100 is in fluctuation right now because Meltzer
what
said.
Happened?
Meltzer, read the tweet, Joe. Go. I'll keep going with the show.
Well,
Joe, you bring up the tweet.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You bring up what Meltzer said. Okay, go find it.
Do you want to hear the Punk thing real quick, or do you want to? Okay, so this is on the Observer website. It was in the newsletter. It says Punk's intention was to return to the company, which was reported in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer, with sources from his camp stating the two sides were in talks. On Dave Meltzer's update on a special Tuesday night edition of Observer Radio, he said they turned him down. The decision was a no. He wanted to go there, and the decision was a no. I mean, it can always change, and it was brought up to me that there's no such thing as no forever when it comes to WWE, but it is no for now. It's Vince's decision. Vince, Nick Khan, Paul Levesque. Obviously, they decided the negatives outweighed the positives. That's okay, because you know what? That's why I said I have until the end of next year. I got plenty of time.
Right. Wait, is that long?
Yeah, I said the end of 2024.
That's too long.
That's the terms. I remember that. I remembered something from.
So this was good.
Then find it and let us hear it because I don't remember it being next year.
All right, tomorrow I'm going to get back with you on Matt.
Well, I got this for you real quick since Konnan asked for it. This is the CM Punk bet. You can just keep this as part of the. Sorry, I jumped. And the latest here.
Goes to the other companies, a locker room cancer, gets fired for being a locker room cancer, and now you want to bring it back now?
What leads me towards that side has to be if he doesn't appear in 2024, right?
So what's leading you to believe is dirt sheet reports?
No. And well, yeah, the guy's saying that
we're in on a Mike Johnson dirt sheet report.
So I got some time, just a little.
You got time, Joe. You bought yourself.
So did he agree to the end of the year?
Well, yeah, whatever. I don't think I'm going to lose that bet.
All right.
You know why I'm not going to lose that bet? Because what happened yesterday? Everybody thought it was a done deal. And what happens with the echo chamber in professional wrestling? If you're outside the echo chamber, you're usually on the right side. So.
Well, the reporters could be being worked too. Could be a whole.
I got to run.
Yeah, I know. All right, thanks for your time.
I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll let you know about Madden. All right. Peace.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you.
This is Paul Lazenby, and you are listening to Keepin' It 100 with the legendary luminary of Lucha Libre, Konnan, and his resident coattail rider, idiot-in-chief, and prime candidate for a Paul the Mauler Lazenby punch in the face, the Disco Inferno.
Hello, you people. This is Pat McNeil, Pro Wrestling Torch legend, and co-host of the Wayback Playback podcast on the Creative Control Network. You are listening to Keeping It 100, starring El Rey de Reyes Konnan and his court jester, the Disco.
Hi, this is Wrestling Superstar Kikutaro, and you are listening to Keeping It 100 with Konnan, Kevin Gill, and that Jay Brony. Disco Inferno, Disco Fever.
Aaliyah's interlude in this bitch. You already know. Aaliyah Core today, tomorrow, yesterday, and forever. Period. The fuck? Bitch, you know I'm sexy. Don't call, just text me. Bitches slow, can't get on my speed. They stare cause they know I'm the ITGIRL. You know I am that girl. Shh, bitch, don't kiss and tell. It go from ATL. ITGIRL. You know I am that girl. Shh, bitch, don't kiss and tell. It go from ATL. How you mad at me cause I'm cut, bitch? How you mad at me cause I run shit? Be mad at yourself cause you ain't done shit. Talking all that shit, it's redundant. Trendsetter, bitch, don't be acting surprised. Aaliyah called to the moon, wanna see my demise. But I don't give a fuck, bitch, look at my eyes. I'm a star girl, bitch, about time I realize. That bitch today, tomorrow, and the day after that. Don't give a fuck about all you little hoes, and that's a fact. Not arguing with bitches who too scared to show they face. Bitch, if you said that in real life, I swear you would get maced, bitch. Pretty bitches love me, and ugly hoes hate me. But while y'all busy hating, I'm flying across the country to be in Vogue, bitch. Yeah. To walk in shows, cause I'm that bitch. Yeah. You already know. The fuck? Bitch, you know I'm sexy. Don't call, just text me. Bitches slow, can't get on my speed. They stare cause they know I'm the ITGIRL. You know I am that girl. Shh, bitch, don't kiss and tell. It go from ATL. ITGIRL. You know I am that girl. Shh, bitch, don't kiss and tell. It go from ATL. Don't be mad at me cause I'm cut, bitch. Don't be mad at me cause I run shit. Be mad at yourself cause you ain't done shit. Talking all that shit, it's redundant. ITGIRL. You know I am that girl. Shh, bitch, don't kiss and tell. It go from ATL. Well, you a bad bitch, you don't never give a fuck about a mad bitch. Stay true to yourself, you a savage. Don't never let these hoes you down, bitch. Well, you a bad bitch, you don't never give a fuck about a mad bitch. Stay true to yourself, you a savage. Don't never let these hoes you down, bitch. ITGIRL. You know I am that girl. Shh, bitch, don't kiss and tell. It go from ATL.
The subject is Wrestling Dynasty. Good morning. With the Bloodline being WWE best story in years, it got me thinking about more wrestling families. I'm currently on Peacock watching 1995 for all three companies, WCW, WWF, and ECW, October 95 to be exact. Brett is no doubt to 3 stars. Here's a word. Brett is no doubt to 3 stars. WWF has and will be next to win the belt defending Kevin Nash. This guy's grammar is going off the chain here already.
Yeah, what are you, the supervisor?
Owen Hart is a current tag team champ with Yokozuna. And Bulldog is up next to challenge Nash for the WWF belt at the Next in Your House. So my question is, why isn't it any current Hart family members that are big in the business right now? Or even wrestling like that? I have Neidhart's daughter, but she's just a good hand. Davies' son is pretty good, but for some reason WWE won't bring him back and haven't been signed to AEW, and Teddy Hart is blackballed. And all of them are late 30s. No Blade, Brett's son, no Owens kids, no Bruce Hart kids. So again, why isn't it really a third generation of Hart family wrestlers? Dude, you're talking about like from 20 years ago. Like the you know, this is
But what's the
just
question?
a
Why
spit.
there's none right now?
Pull your mic down. And number one, the supervisor.
What's he saying? Okay,
I don't
but
know.
what's
This
he
guy's
trying to?
this guy's a moron.
What?
What?
Okay, but let me see if I can understand. Is he trying to say that why isn't there, third generation members wrestling right now? Basically, that it.
Well, why are the Hart family not more over?
Okay, because I think. Let me just say a couple of things. Natalie Neidhart not just a good hand; she's a great hand. That they've decided to use her like that's on creative. Teddy, bro, he's a superstar, but he's crazy and nobody wants to him. And I really believe. Tell me what you think on this hypothesis, Disco Joe. I really believe that the mothers of these kids are like the wrestling business. Do something else.
Right.
We've had too much tragedy.
Yeah,
I would not doubt that. But we don't know, but the speculation is on point, I think.
Right.
Next one is from, oh boy, get the kazoo. It's your boy
Right.
Durbin. Mike Durbin.
Not my boy.
Sleeveless Mike Durbin. The subject is Joe's mood. Hi, Konnan and Glenn. I'm listening to a new episode, and during the mailbag, Joe is experiencing manic fits of laughter. He sounds overjoyed and has had a hearty laugh during each question. In the clip I've attached, Joe is not doing his usual courtesy laugh like he gives to Raven on the Raven Effect. This is a full belly laugh, even more boisterous than when he's on that unnamed show with hilarious comedians Hughie, the Aussie guy, and the Chadster. And the funniest thing is like Durbin put an exclamation point behind that, like I would read it out like with inflection, right? Did Joe switch his medication, or do you think your sponsor, BetterHelp, has helped Joe Feeney? Some Mike Durbin. P.S. NWA Sam Hain is on Saturday, October 28th in Cleveland, Ohio. Head over to NWATix.com or watch it on Fight.tv. Joe, do you have the clip ready?
Yeah. I want to figure out what he meant to call that, because clearly NWA Sam Hain can't be what it's called, right?
He spells it literally NWA capital SAMHAIN.
He's right. It's called NWA Sam Hain. What does that mean?
That's a weird name for a paper. That's probably Billy Corbin being kind of really artsy. Sam Hain.
Is that Sammy Callahan is coming to NWA?
I have no idea
he
what
left
that means.
MTech.
SAMHAIN. I don't know. Joe, play the clip. I want to hear if this is.
Why don't you text Durbin because he's more nerd like.
I did, but it looks like it's a Gaelic festival on the 1st of November that marks the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the winter.
Oh, it sounds like.
Who the know that unless you're like, is that an Irish holiday?
It sounds like a satanic ritual that James Mitchell should appear with say an evil
be the curator.
Yeah.
It says it inspired Halloween, and historically it's widely observed in Ireland, Scotland, and
it sounds like some Irish. Is there a lot of Irish in Cleveland? Probably.
Hughes probably knows what this is, but we're not going to give him any credit for it though.
Or Durbin, ask him. He just read it. He just
play
read
the
it.
Clip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play. I got it right now.
Let's hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Body is claiming it's your fault he got seats for AEW. He claims that you use your connections to get him stuck up in the nosebleed. He's a moron. I don't know if that's what show is he talking about? That's not. It can't be a true story.
I don't know if that's true, but it's funny.
Yeah, you're claiming that you use your connections to get him stuck in the nosebleed.
Yes. I don't know. It's funny, man.
I doubt he would even say. He even report.
Okay.
Konnan, what did you think about Joe's laugh?
Let me tell you what I think happened there.
All right.
A couple things are in play. He's definitely on Flexerol, okay?
Right.
Which is Flexerol. I've never taken it, but that's
No,
supposed to
I
be
take
like
a Flexerol. It
Xanax,
makes you
right?
tired. Bro, it makes you tired.
Yeah, it's a muscle.
Okay.
It's a muscle relaxer. Yeah.
I used to take.
All right.
I took Somas, right? We all took
Right.
Somas, right? 2 beers and 2
Somas
Somas.
were very good back in
Best
the
buzz
day.
ever. Best
Right.
way to go to
Best
sleep.
buzz ever. Best buzz ever is the word, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Seriously, 2
It
beers,
is.
2 Somas. Like, especially after physical, stress in a wrestling match and everything, makes you
Right.
feel like comfortably you go to sleep, right?
And bro,
But
the wrestlers were such experts that they would take it with an empty stomach. Remember?
Right. Flexerol was like Xanax Light. You couldn't
Right.
drink on Flexerol because it's like you just took the Flexerol, you got tired, really
Yeah.
quick, and just went to sleep. And it was
Right.
weird. It wasn't like a Xanax sleep. It was just like, Xanax you just like out like a light, but Flexerol was like you're dozing off, and then it's like
Yeah.
you're done.
Okay, so let me change it from Flexerol, which he's a big fan of, to nitrous oxide, the laughing gas, because I used to take that. I actually took it in Philadelphia, of all places. It was great. I think he was on nitrous oxide. Plus, here's the kicker. I think since we're talking about him, he wants to laugh extra hard so people think he's funnier than he really is. That's
Well, no,
just my thing.
No, I think
But the point here was though, Joe. Here's
Yeah.
let me finish. The point was though, you laugh more heartily there than you ever laughed on Raven's show, and you laugh really hard. You laugh for Raven, but Durbin's make it sound like this laugh came from the belly, like like
heart tea.
So that's right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
no, I think I wasn't on any other substances that day, but I think just hearing about Billy's misfortune and sitting in the nosebleeds, that pleased me that much that, you got that laugh.
He wasn't sitting. He didn't really sit in the nosebleeds. That's
no. I don't know what his story was.
Let me ask you a question, Joe.
Let me tell you what's funny about him. I don't know if I ever told you this story. So he went in there in some sort of disguise. I don't know if it was a hat and glasses or what it was. And then later he tried to send me this, or it was on the phone, one of the two, where he was like, I can't believe I had to go into AEW in disguise. Hey,
no, you're missing the story.
Yeah.
The story, you got the story
Yeah.
wrong. We're talking about the All In show in Wembley. You're referencing the other, like
all right.
Vegas.
So there's another show, just so you know, where he went in disguise, and then he got mad and he was like, "Yeah, I had to go into AEW." And well, you decided to go like that, not me.
Well,
they want to, it's not mine.
They want to kick. They were banned him from the show, right?
Right. They banned him, and if they saw him, they were going to kick him out. And I know one guy wanted to.
And you could have gotten serious heat from that because they were banning him from the show. You knew they were banning him from the show, and you got him tickets under another name.
Right.
And he's still mad at us.
Right. Because he's never wrong. He's always the victim.
Right, yeah. That's hysterical, right? Okay. Right. Next is some Brad Zawacki. And the subject is that wasn't so bad. Question for Disco and Konnan. Have you ever had a match with someone that you were hesitant or nervous to work with because they were known to be dangerous or very stiff? And after the match, we're saying that wasn't bad at all. Thanks, and that's from Brad Zawacki.
Check out it.
That's our Grit Baseball Company. Yeah, tremendous.
Yep. GritBaseballCompany.com. Yeah.
Yeah. GRITBaseball.com. That's good. Excellent. It's interesting merchandise because it's not like actual team. Like you can't they can't
He doesn't have the license, right?
But they can promote a like baseball oriented theme in the colors of the team, right? So I've got a couple. They sent me some Brave stuff, which I wear. So it's cool stuff. Then it matches it matches. If I wear my Braves hat and wear their gear, it's a perfect match. So.
Right.
Yeah, you can get away. You can't get away with using team names or anything. But for instance, there's
but he works around. He does a great job.
Right.
Go check him out. Go check him out. There's a lot of cool there, especially if you like baseball or a friend of yours likes baseball. It's a great birthday
baseball
gift.
Merchandise. Absolutely.
Yeah, baseball merchandise.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And the shirt's comfortable.
Very comfortable. I've never ever.
Joe hasn't met a free shirt he doesn't like. Yeah, go ahead.
Nope.
Never.
I have.
I even wore a Mitch Valentine shirt once.
Let me reference a question. The question mailbag. I've never had an issue with anybody going into a match because we always went over the match beforehand, and I've never had an issue going over with a match with somebody beforehand. So I've never maybe Konnan you have because you've been up on top, but I've never had an issue where like the guy was like the funniest thing the person I had the most issues with laying matches out, even though it was funny, was Booker. Even though we always had great matches and worked good together, he would always it was like a joke. He would always try to make sure he got literally all of it, like everything, every move. At my expense, like when we were going to the match, like it was actually entertaining laying out the match with Booker because he would always he was 100% offense, like was his mindset against me, and I would be like, I gotta get my too, but it was funny. We looked at like it was a funny competition, like laying the matches out with each other and stuff. But we never stiffed me or anything, you know. But I never had an issue with anybody worried going into the match like I'm scared that this guy's gonna try to hurt me. I've never 30 years in business, I've never had that. I don't know, but Konnan, maybe you're different.
I never thought, never had that problem in the U.S. and Mexico. What I did have problem is because I was very, very temperamental back then. And back then, bro, if you weren't tough, you might as well get the fuck out of the business. And what I did think is, am I going to end up getting in a fight with this guy, either in the ring or in the dressing room or in the car to the next city? Because, bro, you have no idea how many times I've been in a car and two guys are just going at it, and we're like, all right, stop the car, get out of your system, and shut the for the rest of the ride. Usually drunk or on pills or something, but that happened a lot, you know.
Okay,
So
wait,
yeah,
I this makes you remember. I remember this now, right? I actually did have the only time this was even brought to fruition.
crossed your mind, yeah.
Crossed my mind is when I wrestled in Tijuana with you
Right.
and our boy Alberto Del Rio was my tag team partner against those other guys.
Right.
Where Alberto pulled me aside after we were laying the match out and told me, "Hey, watch out! These guys might try to take advantage of you in there." And I was like, "I can handle myself." I didn't think nothing of it, but I didn't think like after I went over the match with them, like we did translation and stuff, everything like we were all cool. But he pulled me aside and said, "Hey, watch out! These guys may try to go in the business for themselves in there." But I didn't really, I wasn't worried about it because like the conversation we had laying the match out was fine. But it was funny because
Not
Alberto,
only
like
that,
yeah, right.
the good thing about Alberto is if he told you that, he had your back. You know what I'm saying? If they would have tried to get it, he would have put him in their place. And bro, he was just a few years removed from the Mexican wrestling Olympic team, so he could go.
This was actually very, very entertaining because like when Konnan brought me into Tijuana, I wrestled and I was partners with him. I was like telling Konnan, I was like, dude, this guy looks like $1 million. Like, why is this guy like you look at the guy, he's handsome, he's like, and then
he's tall.
He's tall. He's like he speaks perfect English.
And he was wearing a mask. He was wearing a mask,
he was
covering his face, wasn't he? No,
no, not
This is
Tijuana,
the dressing room.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So right. So but the funniest thing is I've never put because after that, Konnan, what year was that? Do you remember that was like? That was like early mid 2000s, right? Because there was a period of time there after that. I really wasn't watching wrestling. I wasn't doing it. I wasn't working a lot. I was out of it's kind of like out of the business, sort of in it. I was taking bookings here and there, but when he showed up on WWE TV, I never put two and two together. That was the guy that I was with Tijuana. And so we saw WWE. It's like, wow, look at this guy. This guy looks like a, and like it took me like 6 months to realize that that's the guy that was in the locker room with me and the Dos Caras guy. So it was like it was funny. Like I was right that this guy was going to make it big and stuff because I looked at the guy and like, but I never put two and two together as it happened. So it's like this fascinating. Yeah, but he's bro. He just looks like the guy. Like there's not a lot of guys in this business that, especially the way they conduct themselves in public and what they wear. T-shirt, jeans, they're just like slobs. bro, this guy just looks like $1 million. And like you're watching this, you look at him, he's handsome. And plus he was, when they brought him in WWE, he would ride in, he'd pull a Cadillac in, like he's driving $100,000 car. Who was the other guy who's his interpreter, his sidekick? What was the guy's name?
Ricardo Rodriguez.
He had like his sidekick. They get out. The guy's got Versace shirts on, like slacks. The guy's got like $1,500.
The announcer's in a tuxedo.
$1,500, $2,000 worth of clothes on and stuff like. This guy just. You're like, wow, no wonder they're pushing this guy. This guy's got star power. He's Latino.
And let me tell you two. Let me tell you two things. WWE, much like you and me, saw him with the mask on and off, and said, "Why are you wearing a mask, dude?"
Right.
That's number one. Number two. Me and Court Bauer, friend of the show, but not friend of Larry Dallas from MLW.
Right.
We used to call him the Mexican James Bond, bro, because if you knew what he did outside of the ring, he was wild. And so he's good looking,
probably
got girls, can fight, the son of a legend, his uncle's Mil Mascaras, like he's royalty,
Probably is like a concealed carry,
Right.
But
his problem was he got lost in that life, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
when you're
right.
popular and everybody wants to be around, he got totally lost in that. And now, bro, he's super clean. He doesn't go out at night. He doesn't, he knows that one more scandal and nobody will give him a chance.
He's the guy still has a lot of value.
Yeah.
If he's clean and stuff, then the guy's got a lot of value in this wrestling business. And like, I would not be surprised if he shows up.
We did this in ring in Guadalajara yesterday, which is the second largest city in Mexico.
Oh, really? So he's working with you guys right now?
Yes. So Pentagon.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Pentagon was on our show, right? Was supposed to be on the show. Tony came up with this Wave Dream, or what's it called? Wave Nights? Or
Wrestle Dream.
Wrestle Dream. He came up with Wrestle Dream at the last kind of, and Pentagon was supposed to be on that show, but he needed him for his show. So ADR was available. And we did this in ring where it was QT Marshall and Sam Adonis with the American flag and that Harley Cameron girl. And I gave him some lines and they shot in some lines and the heat was ridiculous. And all of a sudden they put Alberto Del Rio's music and it was like this Mexican regional music that you'll hear a lot of the boxers come out to. That place erupted and he did a comeback. That play and that set the table for the main event, which was hot as like he's still over. Because he looks like a star, bro. He knows how to carry himself like a star. He's well educated, so he's well spoken. He knows what to say.
And
he's a valuable asset.
And this is very entertaining. Not entertaining, but like, bro, the guy can call a match in the ring.
And
he's an old school professional wrestler.
Sam Adonis actually wrote to me and he goes, "Man, ADR was calling audibles in the ring," and I go, "Well, listen to him because he knows." Yeah.
But think about that. It's like the actual, like these new cats these days.
No, but he wasn't complaining. He was just they're so used to going, putting a match together and following that.
They're surprised that guys can actually do that. It's like, well, that's how we were brought. That's how we were. Came into the business, learning how to do that. It's like,
and it looks way more realistic. That's why it doesn't look choreographed.
That's a skill that more wrestlers, more trainers should embrace. Teach people how to work. Call the match, and don't
in the ring.
In the ring, and then it's very simple when you train. Because when I used to train at FSW, I was like shocked that like everybody's just like doing the spots, but like they're not calling it. I was like,
bro,
dude,
listen to this.
Call
the
spots. Learn how to communicate, and something. Bro, nobody's learning how to call in the ring right now because the trainers don't know how to call in the ring. Go ahead.
His name, but this guy from Canada, he's a promoter, Doug something. He had taken me up to wrestle, I think Winnipeg, some other places, and he had a match, and he said, "Hey, I really want to help this guy out." I go, he goes, "Will you stand ringside and kind of tell him what to do during the match?" So I went ringside, and I'm telling him, bro, I had to scream it out, okay? I had to scream it out, and he didn't listen. And I go, "What are you doing, bro? Why'd I go out there with you?" he's so nervous trying to remember what's next in the match,
Right.
you know, and he wasn't even listening to me. I go, bro, you've got to learn to listen to the people. How do you know what gets a pop and what doesn't? You know, so they stick so much.
Well, it's few and far between where they get to wrestle with somebody that knows how to call in the ring, because they're all like calling in the back. Like the funny thing about that, I remember Mike Sanders always used to joke around. I was like, yeah, I'm the generation of, I'm from the generation of we called everything in the back. Everything we it's like, and that's true. Like all the wrestlers, they call everything in the back like it's a scripted thing. But what if it's not working? What if the crowd's not reacting? And you just continuously just do the match you have laid out, memorized, and it's like it didn't get over. And it's like, if you knew how to, call autumn. Here's a perfect example. This is an interesting conversation. But when I would if a match was flat, right? And bro, the easiest way to get people into the match is take the guy in the corner and just start like the old Scott Hall chops. Boom. And then all of a sudden the crowd wakes up. They're like, it's like they get into it. So you start just chopping each other. And it's a very simple way if the crowd's flat, get them involved because they see guys are really whacking each other out there. Now I'm interested. And it's a very simple formula to do. If you're in there and the match you laid out isn't going, the crowd's not reacting, just stop and hey, chop me back. I'm gonna give you 3. Turn me around, give me 3. And it looks like we're getting heated in there. We're fighting. I don't know, but that's what I would always do when the match was flat. I just start chopping the guy, and the crowd would wake. The crowd would wake up because they hear it. It's a good little tip. So I don't know. Okay, next is from Hornet Gala Wager. Subject is another waste of time. It's way too early to judge, but that doesn't mean that people can't point out that Adam Copeland's running AEW so far has not done anything at all to change AEW's failing ticket sales. Ratings aren't getting it better either. Just a few days ago, Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné, was teasing on social media that she'll appear in AEW Full Gear. My question is this just another waste of time for Tony Khan? I mean, since Banks left WWE, her stock has fallen big time. So why would Tony think that bringing her will help AEW at all? Do you think that Tony Khan will still go ahead with it regardless? These people have such stupid, takes.
I'm no AEW apologist, but dude, it's been 9-10 days since he debuted. Chill out.
Right. I know. It's like these people are ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing, Joe.
Yeah.
When Punk came back, he did do a spike in the ratings. Edge didn't. So there's a question to be asked there.
But they're going head to head with baseball playoffs, so that's a difficult spot.
Still should have been a little bit higher. This is Edge's first time there, and that is something big. And as a fan, Edge is going to be at the next show. Edge is going to be at the next show. Why didn't they have a better house? It's a question that needs to be asked.
Mm-hmm. And Punk came back at the end of August, DI. So he was kind of. I remember his first match was in Philly at the beginning of October, and that was during the baseball playoffs. Yeah, I remember that.
Bro, it's just the problem that they have with this company. It just doesn't have any buzz right now. Even with that, that's not a big. It's not a game changer stuff. It's like it's a guy that was from.
Did you see what Meltzer said?
No, what did he say?
Sorry to step on you there, but 2 seconds.
You mean Dave, Gin and Juice, and Molly Meltzer? That guy?
Yeah, this is it's short. It's short, but he said it in the most recent Observer newsletter. AEW are cold. Boy, are they cold, and how to change that. Man, that's hard to do, Meltzer wrote in his latest newsletter. And then Tony Khan bit back a little bit. Tony says, we've really begun to change it. The perception is very strong for AEW worldwide. 44 days ago, we set the all-time record for ticket sales for any wrestling show in the history of the planet. We're having a very good year. Our pay-per-view numbers are through the roof.
Okay, that's true. Okay, wait. That's true. Right. That's true, and you got to give him his flowers.
Sure.
But how has that helped what's happening now? That buzz kind of ended right there. It ended in London, bro.
You're creating.
London was a unique situation. You're near France. You're near England. First time in Europe. You put European stars on it. You had Soraya go over. You had Grado show up. It was a great time. But how did you capitalize on that?
It didn't.
It's a question that needs to be asked.
It's true.
No hating, no trying to be relevant, no WWE shill boy because I might go to LW. None of that. What it is.
So
we got no dog in the game.
Dave's making a good point. They are cold.
Right.
Their numbers aren't going up at all. And he's pointing that out. And Tony's like, well, oh, what about our this? What about that? It's like, no, dude, he's pointing out, why don't you fix the problem? Start writing better episodic television stuff.
And this is for the guy that everybody says is a good friend of Tony's and just spews out AEW. Right. I've been saying not buried, but he criticizes them constructively when he needs to, and he does.
He does, but I would still say he's more of a fan of their product than
I would say that
than
too.
a journalist of the first. Like he's a fan.
I would say that
first.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
So next,
what do you think about dude's Sasha Banks question? Do you think Tony should bring her in, or would it be just?
I don't know. They need.
He can't help himself. He will.
Right.
I never wanted to co-star in your mind. I'm not acting the way I think you'd like. We went for dinner and now you're acting paranoid. If only you knew the way I felt inside. I'm at Your paranoia, it happens all the time. And that's 'cause lying's a big problem of mine. But I still do it, now I'm by myself again. I tell so many that I can't see them end. So I said, if I could, I would make amends today. I wrote a list of them, the way it starts, the way it ends. I signed my name in marker pen. I must apologize before it ends the night. It's not a game I want to change these days. It doesn't feel the same the way it did some years before. I've lost so much, I'll lose some more. I'm not able to tell you what you need. It's a shame 'cause they say I should be honest more. One day, I'm sure I'll figure out the reason I was telling lies for.
Continue the mailbag here. We got 20 emails.
Absolutely.
All right. Next one's from Christian Edwards. Subject is Cody Hall safe working. Disco K-Dog Joe, hope you're all well. Big fan of the show. Yours is the best wrestling podcast, bar none. My question is to do with Cody Hall. I know Cody's had some issues, but I always rooted for the guy because he's the son of the late great Scott Hall, and he's 6'10" and near 270 pounds. He also is and was a very talented in-ring worker, and I say was because it's been reported that Cody suffered a somewhat recent broken neck. And Kevin Nash has come out and blamed the Young Bucks for possibly ending Cody's career?
You know about this, Joe?
I have no clue. I'm not familiar with what exactly happened, but I'm wondering if you guys can weigh in and give your opinion on the subject, and also state if you agree with
Can you look it up,
Nash.
Joe, and see what it
Yeah,
says?
no, I have it here. I was just waiting for Disco. Yeah, I hadn't heard that.
Let me finish.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Please don't try this at home. WWE began airing that slogan back in the 90s because they realized that kids trying this at home does indeed come with the territory, and they wanted to speak out against it. Is AEW not sending a bad message for kids and parents at home by not stopping matches, playing it safe when guys get concussed in the ring? Best wishes and thanks for always keeping 100. Well, AEW didn't really have much of a concussion protocol because guys get concussed on that show repeatedly, and they just continue the matches, and it's obvious the guy's concussed. So I don't know what process goes on there, but that's a communication issue between the go position in the truck and the referee. So I don't,
It shouldn't be happening this much. I mean,
shouldn't be happening this much, right?
Yeah, right.
So the spot that injured Cody Hall, it says here, he got his aforementioned neck injury in Japan in 2016 when he was involved in a high-flying spot that saw the Young Bucks diving on numerous wrestlers off of a balcony. Okay. Kevin Nash is quoted.
Do you have this clip or no?
I don't have the clip, no. But Kevin Nash says he's 6'10". If he wouldn't have caught one of those Young Bucks that broke his neck in Japan, if he just olayed and let the guy bounce off the concrete, he'd probably be in the business somewhere working. Instead, he got his neck broken over in Japan, and along with that, a lot of his dreams got shattered. It's just when you lose your dad, it's just, and I think he and I are kind of the same. I think that maybe I'm the only person that misses his dad as much as he does. I'll see if there's video of it though, Konnan.
I try and find it.
Right.
Yeah, I had no idea. But bro, if the guy got hurt, contributing to a spot that you agreed to, like being safe is protecting yourself too. A lot of these guys don't know how to protect themselves out there. So I don't know. All right, so Dynamite last night. What was the number on Dynamite?
800,000.
Yeah, they're gonna have some.
Wow.
Yeah.
800,
Well, no, the world. They have
800,000.
you got baseball play. They're gonna have a little down swing here for a few weeks with the.
Well, that. And of course, the anti-AEW crowd is trumpeting
Well, I
this
just thought
NXT.
that since Edge was there, it might help the rating. But
okay, so NXT did a bigger number. Yeah, go ahead with the numbers.
857,000 for NXT on the 3rd, and then on the 4th yesterday, AEW did 800,000. So NXT had a higher number this week, and then they're going head to head next week, I guess, on Tuesday.
Right, and they're loading that show up with Cena and stuff and everything. You seen that, Konnan?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is smart.
That's
it's funny
smart.
too. You know what
Very
Dave
smart.
said? Dave
And
tweeted.
Cody too.
You know what Dave tweeted? Dave tweeted like, for anybody that thinks that AEW is not competition, sure looks stupid now. And I'm like,
What's he referring to?
They're not competition. Bro, they've been able to do this forever. Like all these people are signed to under the WWE contract. NXT's part of the WWE Universe shows. They could have been putting these guys in these shows for the past few years, and it took Nick Khan to realize, like, why aren't we putting these guys on the shows if we're trying to draw numbers? So it's like, and it shows, bro. The one thing that we engage by watching NXT is that if you are a Raw superstar, a SmackDown superstar, and one of the more prominent characters on the show, you are a draw right now because they're putting you on other shows, and the numbers are going up significantly when you're on the shows. So like Cody's a draw, Dom's a draw. Priest, like these guys are draws.
Mammy.
Yeah. So, all right. So I got issues. Of course, and I'm not being a hater, okay? And I think Konnan might have the exact same issue that I do. All right. So, the pyro shoots off on AEW. Renee Paquette interviewed Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, noting that they were on the opposite sides 4 years ago. And Jericho mentioned his 33-year anniversary in pro wrestling just took place. He said that he and Omega are on the same side and facing members of the Don Callis family. Adam Copeland walked into the picture and said there should be maple syrup with all the Canadians on the set. And Copeland wished Jericho luck and said it's always good to see him. They shook hands, and Omega said it was good to meet Copeland and told him that he had him on the edge of his seat the other night. And Omega offered his hand, and Copeland accepted before telling him that they still don't like Don Callis. Okay, that was Edge's first appearance on the show after not being on, and this was very lame. Okay, now, wait, when did I say? Hang on, I gotta go through this here. All right, so I got an issue. All right, when I'm watching, they showed some highlights of Edge. Okay, from the wrestle thing, whatever. And Nick Wayne was like beating on Sting and Darby, and I'm like, okay, and they kind of, bro, this isn't it. So when did Nick Wayne turn heel?
That happens a lot there.
I mean, shouldn't this have been in a pad? Like, explain this because I'm watching. I go, wait, what is? Because I'm watching the video and I'm watching Nick Wayne. It's like, okay, why is Nick Wayne beating on the? And like he was in the heel faction now.
He turned heel at the Wrestle Dream show in the main event where he turned on Darby.
Well, don't. And then Edge comes out, right?
Let people know that didn't see the pay-per-view.
I mean, or had the announcers explain what happened here so we could set the stage for like what's going on because bro, this they just presume that everybody watches all their shows.
Everybody watches everything they do.
Right.
Like I'll give you an example. I usually watch all their pay-per-views, but I was in Mexico this week, so I didn't watch it. So I didn't even know that.
Right.
Well, it's like, why don't they have it at the top of the show like WWE does and WCW used to? The night after Starrcade or something, you get 90 seconds before the fireworks go off of, I can't believe Savage turned on Sting and this. And, yeah, exactly.
All right. So Ray Phoenix and Nick Jackson I watched this in its entirety, okay, even through all the thigh slapping and everything, which was egregious. But this was very weird, okay, because they started off telling the story of Phoenix has a hurt back, and they were doing the psychology that they were doing was very, very good. Phoenix was selling like a champ. They were telling the story. He was hitting him with moves that hurt his back and everything. Okay, but then all of a sudden
he wasn't selling
that
anymore.
Psychology stopped, and they just started doing all the luchas like spots and everything, and that he wasn't referencing his back again at all.
Yeah.
like I said, they laid this match out where they should have put the back end first and the second part of the match, the first part of the match second, and it would have been like a really good psychology match. But it was like, I don't know. Did you when you were watching that, were you thinking the same thing I was?
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching. Go, wow, this. I'm going. I've never seen Phoenix sell this good when I'm watching this, because he was like really getting into it and stuff, and then all of a sudden,
and it was all for nothing. Yeah.
All for nothing. They just started to quit selling, and like I don't know. But
no, the match was good because I like that style.
Like that style, but the psychology was off. But Lucha doesn't really have, I don't know. It's like, this is weird. If you just want to flip this match,
Lucha does have psychology if you're in a feud, not in a normal match. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So on +2, way too many devastating moves they kicked out of here. Like diamond cutters off the top rope, and so they kicked out of everything, and it was definitely overkill. Right. So they show. Okay. So again, I guess live. There's a production glitch because they show so I watched this show on Hulu after it aired, right? And they had fixed this in post production on Hulu, and they showed the Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett with Adam Cole over there, and this was just a silly. This is too silly for me, right?
Is this the one where he was moving around the furniture or whatever?
Yeah, moving the furniture.
Yeah, this was stupid.
They're acting like 7-year-old kids. Like these are adult wrestlers in that type of comedy. And I'm like, I don't know who thought this.
What disappointed me is everything they've done so far was so good, including when he was in the hospital with the rosary beads and all the, trying to get sympathy. And this was brutal.
Right, this was not good. Oh boy, they found something new to do with Wardlow next. What did they do with Wardlow this week?
Yeah, they're trying to reset him again, give him another push when they had him hot as and it's their fault that they have to restart him again. They had him in there with that guy, that Griff Grifferson or whatever. That he's kind of the Jericho broke man's Jericho wannabe, never gonna be. He was already in the ring. Whatever. He was already in the ring, which you already know what that means. And he kind of came off heelish because some fan grabbed his arm and he pulled it away. So they might be turning him heel. The
bottom line is they're doing the exact same thing with Wardlow that they did before. He just goes out and squashes people 1 minute. Five power bombs. And
this is the company's error, not his, Right. And the crowd wasn't as happy as I thought they would be, the big pop room, because I think they feel it's kind of like Brian Cage, like they never really do nothing with him. So why are we going to get behind him?
Yeah, here we go again.
All right. So can we go backstage? I'm very disappointed in Don Callis. Okay, because this promo he cut backstage was too generic for me.
Right.
Him and Takeshita are back there, and he said, and Callis cried foul, saying the medical team wouldn't clear Sammy Guevara for his match, and said Kyle Fletcher will team with Takeshita now. Callis told Jericho and Omega not to be too excited about who wins a battle. He said no one remembers who wins a battle; they only remember who wins a war. I thought he could have been, bro. He needs to be more scathing when he's like when insulting people and stuff. He wasn't, he didn't really. This wasn't really that good of a heel promo. So I was disappointed in this. He's been cutting good promos lately. So then they said that Excalibur had to point out that they had transmission issues, and they replayed the Konnan Strong video. So they played it again. Everybody had to see that,
Right.
Let's do this. I want you to rate. Let's start rating. Give star ratings to the vignettes. Okay. How many stars will you give this vignette?
I don't give stars, dude. It's either good or bad.
I'm doing it for this vignette.
You give stars. Go ahead.
Okay. This is a 1.25 star vignette. All right.
I thought it was brutal.
Okay, a dud? Wow. You give it a dud then, huh, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a big match that I had no idea why that these people were wrestling and why. But the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian are getting a match for the trios titles.
Okay, well, these three guys, they remind me a lot of Ashanti and Cameron Grimes and this Alexander. I forgot they were even on the roster. Seriously.
Yeah, and Kip's been there since day one, and that you never see him, and every time you see him,
he's show up and wrestle. And it's like there's no character development, nothing. I know nothing about these guys. I know nothing of why they're together.
Well, don't forget,
Kip came back. And Kip Sabian even together,
When Kip came back, he had dyed his hair silver, so that's There you go. That was a big change.
Right.
Well, the three guys have been there for 4 years with zero upward mobility.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is something that they're doing good. All right. Even though it's still a little bit corny, but she's embracing the character and she's doing it very well. They had Toni Storm's Portrait of a Star video series, and RJ City mentioned she's been wrestling for 14 years, and she flipped out and grabbed him by the collar while yelling about how every pay-per-view is a roll of the dice, and she mellowed out and said she is timeless. Then a graphic listed "Timeless Toni Storm" appearing later in the show. She is doing excellent character development because she's completely changed her character and she's turning like a crazy girl now. Which she's doing it very well. What do you think of this, Konnan?
Yeah, I think that's great because remember in WWE, we thought she was a star. They treated her like a J-Bone, like some groupie. Remember, like a rock star groupie or whatever. Right. Then she came here and she was a heel. She did not get over. Then she turned babyface. They really didn't use her right. She's finally found her niche. And if you try hard enough and long enough, sometimes you'll hit your niche. This Timeless character is great. I like how it's in black and white because she's kind of doing like these actresses from the 1920s, like over dramatic and very well done. She's probably the most interesting girl on the roster right now.
Absolutely is because of the way she's going to be on later in the show, and it's I got a good thing I want to talk about. So they showed a video cabbage of Swerve beating Hangman. Oh, so Swerve won that match at Wrestle Dream. Good for him.
Yep.
Paige had new comments to complain about Strickland hitting with Prince Nana's crown and saying that Swerve doesn't take his spot by doing what he did. So he's kind of bait. I would be a little bit more hot at the guy if that's how I lost. You know, you're a cowboy. It's kind of a little bit too gentlemanly there in the promo, I thought. So they showed a video. They showed a video of the Devil's Mask, the show closing angle last week, and the broadcast team know that MJF is claiming that the Devil's Mask was stolen and wasn't behind the attack on Jay White. So Juice, Colton Gunn, and Austin Gunn come out, and they cut a promo. This was not a good. The promos weren't very good here. I thought they could have done better. They've been better on the mic before. So basically, Robinson told MJF to get his out there, and Max does his typical thing where he's on the stage, he's ripping these guys a new on the mic, crowd's getting over, but his insults were kind of like a little lame. Then for some, I could not stand this. Okay, so MJF goes down to challenge all three of them, gets in the ring, takes his belt off. 3 heels of one of your top heel factions powder. And then MJF is just standing there like an idiot, and of course, what happens? Jay White comes behind him and puts him down with he gives him his finishing move. That's all he gave him, one finishing move. And MJF just laid there like out like a light for like 2 minutes. So they left. They cut a promo on the stage, cut a promo in, and then MJF sold like he got hit somebody threw a piano off the second floor of a building and hit him in the head with it because he was selling huge, and they just cut a promo on him. He's challenging for Full Gear on November 18th. What did you think about making your top babyface look stupid here, Konnan?
Well, hey, MJF has creative control. He could have, unless it was his idea, he could have said no, but he did it because, makes him look like a tough guy, which I think makes you look dumb. Because when have you ever seen one guy say, all right, I'll take on all 3 of you?
No, it's just stupid. It's like,
Right. So, unless you're drunk. But other than that.
Go ahead.
What? Oh, no. I would just.
Because wrestling fans, bro, there's been, hundreds of thousands of hours of wrestling on TV over the past 25 years, right? They've seen this angle so many times, you know exactly what's going to happen. You come out there, you did challenge, you guys that's stupid. They powder, it's like, oh, well, somebody's going to come out and attack him from behind. It's just like a playbook, I don't know. I was not happy.
The flip to that is there's probably people that are younger fans that have maybe never seen it. So to them, it might be, but I've seen it so much and it just looks dumb. But he did the right thing because I know when I was working with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, one of the things that they always taught me was if you're going to sell somebody's move or you take the 3 count, just lay there, just sell it, So I think by MJF selling it, it puts over Jay White. And I'm kind of interested in seeing what they do together.
Right. So, so backstage, Orange Cassidy and Hook are doing a promo, an interview, and Hook is eating chips, Lay's potato chips, and they just said Hook said Cassie should be facing Phoenix for the AEW Championship next week. Cassie said Moxley was champion for 3 weeks, whereas he was champion for 11 months. Whatever, Cassie said, and then he ate one of Hook's chips.
Wait a minute.
I mean, I get the gimmick, but it's this gimmick kind of provides a lot of really, nothing gets you excited. It's not getting you excited for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like they shouldn't be like when if Cassidy is cutting a promo, okay, and it's just him and Hook, and they're in their characters and they're slackers, and that's it, and the segment ends. That was boring looking television. Whenever they're cutting promos, they should have somebody confront them so they can sell their gimmick like in the face of like a guy challenging. So it looks like a more entertaining segment. Do you agree with that, or am I off here?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, because them just cutting promos with each other. It's just like they look like they're just like two boring people. It's like, I don't know. So Jericho and Omega wrestle Takeshi and Kyle Fletcher. A good finishing sequence here, because Fletcher caught Omega with a kick and tried to scoop him up, but Omega slipped away and he ran into a code breaker and then popped into the One Wing Angel and pinned him. Callis complained on commentary that Fletcher screwed him after he gave him a chance, so Fletcher lost. So after the match, Callis went to the stage and barked at Omega and Jericho. Then Powerhouse Hobbs entered the ring behind them and put them down with clotheslines. Bro, and and then Hobbs gets heat. Like he got heat on Jericho, who's rolled out. And he got like a lot of heat here on Omega, but it wasn't really, the heat wasn't that great. He was like, this went on for a long time. Hobbs threw him over the guardrail, beat him up, threw him back in the ring. They taped him to the ropes. They duct taped him to the ropes, and then Don Callis hit him with like one chair shot, and basically Don Callis hit him with a chair, and that was it. Like the heels ended up strong here, but it wasn't really. I didn't think actually. Let me read Pal's POV. A good match followed by a strong beatdown angle. I hope that chair was gimmicked somehow because there's no place for unprotected shots to the head given everything we've learned about head trauma. I like the addition of Hobbs to the Callis family. I hope this means we've seen the last of his weak Book of Hobbs gimmick. I didn't think this was a strong beatdown angle. I thought it was kind of like it just went too long with not enough violence. What do you think? Am I wrong here?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, and that Book of Hobbs gimmick was JoJo too. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so this was weird. Maybe I've missed something. And I had no idea what's going on here. So Paquette was interviewing MJF in the trainer's room while Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Billy Gunn stood in the background. Then Bowens and Gunn left, but then Caster came up behind MJF and started rubbing his shoulders.
Well, there was a doctor massaging his shoulders. Remember?
The doctor massaged his shoulders. And Caster pushed the doctor.
Right.
Had the doctor step aside. Right. Then he started rubbing his shoulders. Then MJF flipped out and said Caster leaves weird letters in his bag and sends him strange tweets. He called him a stalker and ordered him to leave. Then Caster called MJF the king while MJF said he'd get a restraining order on him. And after Caster left, MJF said he couldn't do it alone and was calling Adam, and the call went to voicemail. What on earth was going on here? Have I missed something about the Max Caster MJF? Like Caster's hitting on him here, obviously.
Did something happen on Wrestle Dream or whatever? What was it called?
Wrestle Dream, or on Rampage or Collision or something. What am I missing here?
I don't know.
Because this was just weird. I don't know. The MJF is not. I'll be very honest. MJF. I liked him in the Adam Cole stuff, but now it's going off the rails a little bit. Oh, this was good.
It says here. So, long story short, Max Caster has been flirting with him on social media and posting that MJF is his boyfriend. So it's some kind of angle that they were doing online.
Wait. Is Max Caster also gay like Bowens?
I have never heard that.
I don't think he is. I've never heard that either. I thought that Bowens was.
I don't know, but it's like I guess they're going.
I thought what I had heard it was Bowens, Caster, Juventud, and Disco, but I'm not sure. Nothing.
Well, that's very disrespectful.
No. That you guys would make a good team, like you, the manager of them. Not that they're the. Yeah.
So very next, one of the best things on the show was just 1 minute. I think it's a minute 30. Not too long, but a minute or so promo of Samoa Joe. He's sitting in a chair with a suit, smoking a cigar, and got a shot of bourbon in a glass with him. Said he is focused and ready to be the AEW champion again. He said he gained respect for MJF, but soon MJF will learn that when he's hungry, he always manages to eat. This is a very good promo for Samoa Joe, and I like the way he was presented here. What do you think about this?
Agree.
Yeah. Sky Blue comes out with her. This is what Jason Powell writes. Sky Blue made her unenthusiastic entrance. And I think that Sky Blue, her entrances are congruent with whether or not she's going over in the match or not. I hope that's not true. But she wrestles Toni Storm, and Toni Storm has got the lipstick smeared on her face and everything, like she's crazy and stuff, and working the gimmick like she's bro. This is what I was thinking. The look she's going for. Have you seen these Britney Spears videos, Konnan, where she's acting like really weird?
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
Yeah,
of course.
Right. I think they're going for that kind of gimmick here with Toni Storm, which is actually.
You know what she reminded me of a little bit? Remember
What?
when Chelsea Green was the mess in Impact? She had the wedding dress on and the smeared lipstick, and she was the hair was all
the drunken bride or whatever it was. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So so this is funny. Excalibur hyped the following matches for Rampage Friday. Okay, I'm going to read them to you. I'm going to read them in speed that Excalibur reads. Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Jake Hager, Dana Garcia versus Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Triple and Jack Taylor. Chris Statler and Hikura Shida versus Nyla Rose and Marina Sharif. Johnny TV versus Commander versus Liz Dorado versus Penta Ciro Miedo for a shot at the Ring of Honor Championship with Eddie Kingston on commentary. Now, the announcer said that. So then they go backstage to Renee Paquette with Stokely Hathaway, who will announce there'll be a 4-way on Rampage for a shot at the Ring of Honor title. And Eddie Kingston will be on commentary. They should have saved that for him here, right? He said they need a champion who smells like Tom Ford, not Burger King and Newports. That was actually a funny line for him. But but he's on. They announced him as he's on the Ring of Honor board or something. The board of directors, or whatever. Did you like Stokely Hathaway being on the Ring of Honor board of directors, Konnan?
I could care less.
Yeah. So, by the way, Toni Storm beat Sky Blue because she's getting a push here. So I like this. I like Toni Storm's in this gimmick. She's doing very well.
Right, and I like when she hit her in the corner with the hip attack, and then she looked into the camera and threw it to a commercial. I thought that was great.
Right. So Adam Copeland comes out for a promo. This was long, but
bro, they should have never had. They should have never had Edge come out at the beginning of the show with that corny line, "Oh, maple syrup," and just saved them for the end.
Right, exactly. Right, because if you were going to show them at the beginning, there should have been a thread. Like show them again an hour later, and then like okay, show but just show them at the beginning, show them at the very end. It's like this. I don't know. So he's kind of promo. Christian Cage makes his entrance, and he circled Copeland. Copeland said he and Cage have been friends for 40 years. Copeland said New Cage was wondering why he attacked Wayne and Luchasaurus at Wrestle Dream. Copeland was censored when he said Cage's face was pursed up. He looked more like than usual. Copeland said he still loves Cage and that won't change. He said when he saw Cage standing over Sting, the same guys brought Sting's poster to the barber so they could get the same haircut. Copeland spoke about Sting has wrestled and made people feel. That his wife's parents are Polish and didn't speak English, and yet they love Sting. Copeland told Cage that Luchasaurus and Wayne would drop him once they sucked all the knowledge out of his brain. He said Cage is so egotistical he won't see it. I am here because it's time, Copeland said. He said it was time for the two of them to team together and face teams like FTR and the Young Bucks. So it's time to show the fans that they were one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And Copeland said he was there, had in his hand, and asking Cage to end their careers together as a team so they could show everyone what they could do. And Cage took the mic and looked at the crowd and then at his belt and opened his arms and hugged Copeland. And he told Copeland to go. Cage left the ring while Copeland looked stunned. Cage went to the stage and soaked up the chance to stop the moment he held the mic up to his face. And he said that before he left, he wanted to give Copeland a reminder of what he'll be up against on Tuesday's Dynamite. That Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne walked down the stage and joined Cage while Excalibur hyped the match. Okay, so this is funny to me. It's just like you think Adam Copeland would come back, and he basically just got up there and punked him, and Cage completely punked him. Okay, and then you brought out Nick Wayne at the end, like this ominous force, like Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus.
Who cares?
I don't right.
Yeah.
They should have just ended it with Cage, Cage doing that line and leaving and turn around and looking at him and staring at him and close the show with the facial expressions. You know, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they're trying to push Nick Wayne down our throat. You know, I mean, he's not ready yet, just like they did with Utah, just like they did with Daniel Garcia, just like they've done with so many others.
Yeah.
And also, you know, this is the thing about wrestling, Glenn. We always say the best stories are the ones that write themselves, right? Like when they didn't take advantage of the CM Punk and Bucks thing, right? Which would have been a great story. This story told itself. They didn't even have to set up much. Everybody knew they were best friends. Everybody knew they tagged up in WWE, right? And that's why I think at the beginning it was a waste of time. This is the first time Edge has ever been an AEW bona fide superstar. And the first time you see him, he's making that joke about the maple. It's like you should have waited just to the end when he came in, and because you'd already shown him once, and it took the novelty off. And I didn't expect Christian. Now, when the camera did a close up on Christian, I said, "Oh, he's going to say something," but I didn't expect him to say that. That was great. You know, Nick Wayne does absolutely nothing for him. He's not credible. He's not nothing. And it almost seems to me the way that Edge kept bringing up Sting, we may see Edge and Sting as like a Legends team against Luchasaurus and Christian, maybe.
Yeah.
Did you notice, along with the yourself, that Christian dropped, you know, so the show was a little profane, that in Toni Storm versus Sky Blue, Tony threw Blue out of the ring and picked her up to put her against the barricade and then slapped her in the a few times? Did you notice that?
No, I did not.
I did.
Of course you did. Pervert. So this show was kind of weird. I wasn't that impressed with Edge's first appearance on here, especially his first appearance was as lame as it was. Where he just comes out in the hey, maple syrup, we're a bunch of Canadians. Hee, get it? Like, you know, come on.
No.
Give me a break. Yeah. All right, so that's been our AEW.
But let me just say a couple things. Usually, an AEW, I'm only interested in MJF because he consistently was bringing it. But right now, I'm interested in the MJF Roderick Jay White angle. Right. I'm interested in the Jericho Omega Don Callis and family angle.
Right.
Okay. I'm interested in what's going to happen with Christian and Edge.
Right.
Like I'm interested in Toni Storm, whatever she does. Right.
Me too.
Like I'm interested in a couple of things for once. You know,
I'm interested in the MJF, where they go with MJF and the Roderick Strong stuff. I'm not that interested in the Jericho Kenny Omega stuff because I don't know. I'm just not that interested in it. I'm interested in the Toni Storm stuff because her character work is excellent right now. And bro, Cage is probably the best thing on their show right now. You know, even better than MJF right now. Just because he's he's just so good. He's just a professional. He knows exactly. I mean, his whole his very subtle facial expressions. Go ahead.
And he does something MJF used to do when he was a heel. As a heel, he still kind of tried to get over with the people. Like he'd bury him, but he always do something to make them laugh, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Christian does none of that. He's a straight cold heel, you know, like Dominic is.
With a scowl on his face, you know, right? Just like
always mad. Yeah, he's got the turtleneck, which makes him look presumptuous.
Right, yeah. Mean looking facial expression.
All he's missing is the ascot and the pipe. You know,
yeah. But I mean, I will say that, you know, maybe you like you said, you're pushing Nick Wayne, right? And I think maybe they think like because Cage has done good work with Luchasaurus because he's changed the way Luchasaurus works. Right. You know, like Luchasaurus does not work like a Luchasaurus. He works like a big man now, right? So I think he's probably looking at Nick Wayne and thinking like, okay, I can, you know, I'll give this guy to me. And
maybe. Maybe that's his job too as a veteran.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in conclusion for AEW, once again, they continue to have the three things I'm very interested in: the random matches and qualifier matches that they have for guys. I could fast forward through those all day long, and I don't think I'd miss a single thing. Would you agree with that, Konnan?
Yeah.
All right, so that's been our AEW review.
Boom.
Please don't ask again. Who's up in the van? They my only fans. I was in my hovercraft, had another laugh. How you roll with them when you know I'm him? Got it on remote control. Got it on remote control. Got it on remote control. Like a CEO, I thought you should know. On my Instagram, it get out of hand. Why you so mad? He got it on remote control, like a CEO. Feeling like the man, feeling like the man. I was in my hovercraft, floating down the path. God just grabbed my hand, had a bigger plan. He got this on remote on remote control. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I owe you a love, a little Titanic. I can't rock your boat. Not a brand new rose, not a brand new rose. Jesus sent me brand new clothes. Wrist still 32 below. Yeah. I want my mountain shine. I caress your mind within fine time. Don't you give your love up? This is the right sign, right sign. Yeah, yeah. I treat you lovely and righteous and kind, and we'll be less than one another till we die. I give you kids and the drop of a dime. Oh, told her, oh my clothes. Take it to the light like a stroll. Taking me to court like, oh. Paparazzi sleep in my door. I just thought that you should know. I get frozen like the North Pole. Don't you freeze up on the pole. He got this on remote control, like a sinking goal. He got it, the final moment. Twilight in again. He got it on my other craft. Have another laugh. Pop on the handstand. Twilight in the man. He got it on remote control. He got it on remote control. He got it on remote control. Like that's to know. Should know. You'll not understand. I am not your man. See, I'm super, I got plans. Trips across the land. Diamonds dancing on my hands. Cutter in demand. All in pink like Killer Cam. Holy. Watch him go, baby, like what she see. Hey, in the evening, it's the time and it's right. Hey, taking it solo, loose the baggage, let's go. Hey, just doing damage, but some damage, you know. It's a thing, and we riding. It's a little bit of licking, we sliding. It's on, and we biting. Say goodbye to the worries, baby. So long. Feel that she love my shine. Oh, color outside the lines. I am so out of control, and I'm falling, going in the mode. And she said she understands the code. See, we play our roles. This is how it goes. Innocent, ooh. And I'm trying to find you in my dreams, ooh. See, I'm just a creature in the night. She gives me what I like. Electric to my bones. Feels so right.
Splendid. Simply delicious. I am the glob gab, the schwabble double wobble gobble flibber blah blah blah. I'm full of schwibble glibber kind. I am the yeast of thoughts and minds. Schwabble double glibber glabber schwibble schwab glab. Hibble double shwibble shwabble glibber glab schwab. Schwabble double glibber glabber shwibble schwab glab. Hibble double shwibble shwabble glibber schwab glab. Schwabble double glibber glabber shwibble schwab glab. Hibble double shwibble shwabble glibber glab schwab. Schwabble double glibber glabber shwibble schwab glab. Hibble double shwibble shwabble glibber schwab glab. Splendid. Simply delicious.
All right, DI, what you up to? Where can we find you? Marinating, chilling in the cut on IG, Snapchat, TikTok, yeah, don't stop. Or Grindr, boom.
At The Real Disco on Twitter, at Disco Master Gigi on Instagram. You can also catch you on Vince Russo's show. He does a podcast on the RussoBrand.com called Time Out. We talk various subjects. We agree with a lot of stuff, argue about a lot of stuff. Yeah, good. Just check out. It's just me and Vince always has good conversations. You people have heard Vince on this show. He always brings it, so we always have entertaining conversations. Also, you can catch me at Sapphire Gentlemen's Club. It's the world's largest gentlemen's club. If you dial 702-869-0003, mention my name and mention the podcast, we'll send a limo to pick you up, get you in for free, and get you a free drink. How about that?
Yo, so check it out. If you happen to be in Vegas and you spot DI at the Korean barbecue or the sports betting place, sports book betting place with the obligatory bourbon in one hand, don't be afraid to put another one in the other hand. And it needs to be either Bullet, Russell, or Buffalo Trace bourbon. Also, you can stick a hot dog in his pie hole and, watch out when you put the mustard and relish and it's not in his nose because they're about the same size. By the way, you don't just run up to him and start chopping it up with him. There's a protocol. It goes a little something like this. Boom. First, you give him a compliment. Then you give him another compliment. He likes compliments on his hair, by the way. Then you can ask him a question. You can talk to him from 1 to 3 minutes. Yes, it's timed. If you put him over, only if you put him over. Additional time if you're not annoying and you tell him you've got it like that. At no time will there be any direct eye contact. Who stole that from you? Oh, Timeless Tony Storm. Yes.
Yeah.
A $20 handshake gets you an autographed picture another round. But if you get drunk and or obnoxious and or don't put him over, you will hear this. You will hear this.
Yeah, you're muted.
Can't hear you.
Can I get an 81 to back reception?
All right, which means a bunch of goons are going to kick you out. At which point you can tell them, you go, girl, because you're getting 86, which means permanent removal. Joe.
Yes, sir.
Good news.
What you got?
Hugs and kisses are back on the table, especially for cute transgenders and non-binaries. Nice. This is for gentlemen callers only. Topless menu is in vogue because of the weather. Secret menu handjob of the week. You may like this one, Joe. It's a clam chowder inside of a sourdough bread bowl.
Yeah, that's a little.
Okay.
That one's a little gross.
Okay, well, let me tell you this. This week I got my dogs cleaned, okay? Mm-hmm. And the bulldog got a blueberry facial, okay? So just so you know, DI does provide wet wipes at the Shake Shack and will teabag you for free with dipping sauces from everything from barbecue to ranch to mojito, and limited time only, a blueberry facial in honor of my bulldog, Meatball. You can witness this in 3D or virtual reality. Unfortunately, the 3D glasses or VR goggles are not included. This, Joe, is from 3 to 5 a.m. in the morning, and this, Joe, is a limited offer. What you got, Joe? Boom.
That's great. In honor of Meatball. Yes. You can catch me every week on The Raven Effect with Raven and Rich Bocchini. Raven is almost fully recovered from his shoulder replacement. He's back. He's with it.
He's still focused. In severe pain?
He didn't mention anything last night, so you know what? That's a good sign. Because if he was, he would tell us.
When he's on the podcast with us, does he tell you guys he's in severe pain?
He did for the first couple shows after the surgery, for sure. I think I have text evidence too. Those exact words, severe pain. But if you're a fan of Raven during his wrestling career, and you also checked out his shoot interviews and stuff like that, podcasts and stuff he did in the past, he's got his own style of and his own brand of humor.
Point here about Raven's pain.
Yeah,
a lot of Raven's pain, I think, can point to the placebo effect. That he's more his pain is more mental than it is actually like physical pain, like agony.
Interesting.
I would say that. Yeah. Throw that out there. Disco says your pain is more the placebo effect than actual pain, and see what.
But
he
is
says.
that from something in the past where?
No, he just always used to. He used to take a bunch of pills.
Right.
So I'm just wondering if the pills he took were because he took pills when he wasn't in pain.
Sure.
Right. So it's like so. He always said he's in severe pain, but he always took pills. So how what is it?
Because he liked the buzz. He probably liked the buzz, like most of the boys. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Right.
So if you enjoyed Raven's content in the past and you enjoy his sense of humor, check out The Raven Effect every week on the Creative Control Network, at the CC Network 1 on Twitter. All these shows are available courtesy of Spreaker, also on Apple Podcasts.
CC Network
Spotify.
1. Is there a CC Network 2? Nothing.
I wanted to have at the CC Network or something like that, and it was already taken. So I had to throw the 1 on the back of there. But we got Taskmaster Talks with the legendary Kevin Sullivan, well known for his the stuff he did in Florida wrestling,
Yeah, when he was doing the devil gimmick with the
devil.
missing
Yeah, well,
link
that's fine. Yeah, he was kind of he did a cult leader
he was
gimmick.
hypnotizing people. He was like a cult leader, never been seen before. A lot of people in Florida believed it because of the believable angle. He had like Mark Lewin, this crazy motherfucker coming out of the sea and shit. Then he had the beautiful woman right by him. You know, like it was a cool, different thing that he was doing. He's always had a good head for the business.
Well, he's going to, he usually discusses WCW stuff on the show and booking and Florida and everywhere that he's been, ECW. But this week he's going to take a look at some current events and he's going to give his opinions on Kevin Nash and LA Knight and the little bit of back and forth there. Nash's opinions on Knight. Knight's kind of fired back. Hear what Kevin thinks about that. Give Taskmaster Talks a shot. Big catalog there. He just did episode 169. So there's a lot to hear there if you're into catching some of Kevin's vast amount of wrestling knowledge. Also, speaking of vast amount of wrestling knowledge, taking you to school with Dr. Tom Pritchard. Dr. Tom, his format can go back and forth. He'll talk about the past, but also hit up some present topics. It's always guys that he's worked with or wrestled or trained or all that. So this week he's going to focus on the career of The Undertaker and his dealings with him through the years, whether that's Memphis or even down in Smoky Mountain when he went down there, and of course WWE. And he's going to go back in time and discuss Houston wrestling with some wrestling historians, aficionados, if you will, would probably be interested to hear. Houston wrestling had a great reputation with Paul Bosch. He's going to talk about Paul as well as guys that worked there, including the Fantastics, Dutch Mantell, Dusty Rhodes, Tully Blanchard, and Andre the Giant. Stories on all those guys. Dr. Tom is, and he's also got a great gift for storytelling like his brother Bruce. So give that pod a shot as well. John Paz is the co-host. On Business of the Business with John Paz and Labby Margolin. It's your deep dive into pro wrestling news and analytics and all that. This week they have a guest. His name is Jonathan Ash.
Who?
Jonathan Ash. He is a producer for GCW. He's the technical director at MLW, and he's also a producer with GPW.
What show is that on, by the way?
Business of the Business with Paz and Lavy. You know, there could be guys that want to come in as a cameraman, director.
So let me see. There's you can listen to the Chris Jericho. You can listen to Jericho, to Pritchard, to Bischoff, to our show, to so many other things that are out there. But you'd be listening to this John Ash talking about Great Plains Wrestling. You know what's actually better than I expected? That Al Snow show on Netflix.
Oh yeah, Vince tells me I need to go watch that.
You would like it. It's good.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it over right now. I don't know. You know what, Joe? Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think, Disco? Should I watch that or should I listen to John Ash? Which one?
Watch the show on Netflix, because here's how Vince described it. He says the way they directed the writing, they like build a star each show. Like every show that they had somebody and they build them up, like, and they make
so much so that they hired one of the girls there, the little fucking trailer park with the big and I think she's still on the show with the. Yeah, you'll see her. You'll definitely see her, and her mom's also on the show too. Trailer Park Part 2. Yeah.
Cool.
Wait a minute. I've made a mistake. Believe it or not, it's not Great Plains Wrestling. GPW Productions is also known as GoPro Wrestling, and it's an entire business. It's a business around if you need a film crew for your event, these are the guys you call. Independent wrestling production company.
I just call Borash.
Their work has been featured. They've done work for AEW, Ring of Honor, Major League Wrestling, and GCW.
Okay, bro. I don't mean to bury you, and I don't think this is a burial, but if it is, my bad. That's not an interesting guy to listen to. But continue.
Well, they also go over the wrestling news every week, ticket sales.
Maybe that part is. Maybe that is, but he isn't.
So,
but I'm out of quagmire. I don't know whether to watch the Netflix show or him. Or listen.
You want me to send you the link? I could send you the link so you got it right there, ready to go. Okay. All right. All right. So if you're looking for different and new voices to give you your wrestling news, check out
Unless Joe, and this is a guilty pleasure of mine. I know it's petty. Unless he has any stories to bury Kevin Gill, I would like to hear those.
Nice. I'm sure he does. Working around with.
Please ask him.
Production and cameras and all that. Perhaps he does, especially GCW. And then Outlaws and Gunslingers, the true crime podcast on the Creative Control Network. They've been going over mafia history recently. They've covered, everything throughout the years. Yep. Yeah. Well, this week it's going to be Nicolò. Niccolo? You're Italian. I'm asking you. Is it Niccolo? Niccolo Shira. He was the head of the Bonanno family way back in 1912. So if you're interested in that old school mafia history, check out this episode.
got
I mean, those are very early days. So, but there was an incident called the Good Killers murders where this guy took out rivals in New York, Jersey, and Detroit, had it all planned out. And in 1912, I'm sure that wasn't very easy to coordinate everything. So that was the first in a long line of famous mafia hits. So if you're interested in history and true crime in the mafia, check out Outlaws and Gunslingers. We're going to have some, nothing set in stone yet. There's going to be some changes with the Creative Control Network coming up. I'm going to freshen it up a little bit. Maybe we're going to have a couple new shows, give some guys a shot, but looking to fill some slots at the CC Network One. Actually, if you're listening, and this is how Creative Control Network mostly got started, and you got a show and it's, you think it's up to par and it's professional and you know how to make it sound good.
Everybody thinks their show's up to par. Everybody thinks their show's good.
But a lot of podcasters, it's even to the point where they don't use a mic or a headset, or it's just, you know what I mean? So I need guys that would at least know the bare bones. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But anyone else that has an idea or is already working and can't figure out the game and can't make any money, maybe I could help you. So hit me up, creativecontroljff@gmail.com. Check out the Raven Effect, check out the Creative Control Network, and check out K100 across all social media at K100 Konnan. And that's about it for this week.
All right. So you can check me out on Twitter at KONNAN5150. I want to thank our Patreons. All the extra audio and video that didn't fit on the show goes on there. We also do reviews for SmackDown, Dynamite, and Raw. We've also got promos that you won't hear anywhere else from people that come to wrestle in Mexico. The promos that we put on TV and on social media are all there. We've got pictures. We've got pictures of hot girls. We've got 7-year catalog of everything we've done. The disco list when Juventud had his segment on here, when Shane Helms had his segment on here, all the interviews we've done, all the meltdowns, all the fights, all the laughs, all the information, everything. And you can check that. What else? Anything I'm missing, Joe?
Yeah. Well, most importantly, what people like the most about the Patreon, other than the reviews, which are very popular.
And no ads, right?
No ads for $15 and up. And you get everything earlier too. So for instance, we recorded the sports, we recorded a segment about the punk rumors. If you were on Patreon, you'd hear them all like an hour after we recorded it, so sports, you might have to wait 24 hours to get, while Patreon will have it early. Same thing with the main show and talks and rehash in the mailbag. They get everything early and ad free. And also you get access to the K100 Discord, which has been an interesting place as of late. And you can also, for the $25 tier and up, you'll get a monthly plug at the beginning of the show where Konnan will shout you out and shout your business out, or your website, or your social media, or your podcast, anything, and that's, so for $25, you get all the archives, you get all the shows early, and you'll get a shout out for anything you want to promote, whether you want to build up your social media or your business. That's a steal right there. So check that out. And also for $25 and up, that's when you get the access to Konnan and DI on the round tables, or our live. We do a live mailbag. You can ask any question you want. And people, of course, are big on the interactivity, so we try to do as much of that as we can as well.
Okay, so I had a guy that wrote me. Let me see if I still have his letter here. Okay, some guy I took, maybe he sent the letter for next week, but maybe we can answer it here. But some guy joined Patreon, the $40 tier. His name is Don. I think it's Don Julio from Baltimore. Okay, and he told me that he tried to get on Discord twice and he couldn't get on. Can you tell people how to get on that, including Don Julio?
Yeah, it's the way it works is you'll get a specific link for yourself. So it's like I have to hit up anybody individually and send them the link. I just sent a guy who joined the $25 tier the link, but I haven't heard from Don Julio. It could be my mistake. He might have sent a message on Patreon, which
I gave him the K100 questions thing. I said, cool. I gave him that.
Yeah, it's perfect. If you're a Patreon member and you want to join the Discord, and we've never interacted, so you don't know how to get in touch with me and stuff, hit up K100questions@gmail.com. Say you want to get in the Discord, send me a screenshot that shows your membership, and I'll send you the link.
All right. Let me see. We've got over 24 months of straight subscriber growth, which talks about the product. People like it so much, they keep renewing. Let me see. And I just want to thank everybody for riding with us, listening to the main show, K100 Talks, Rehash Sports, Mailbag. Thanks to you. They've all been big successes. Obviously, they're shorter shows than our main show. But thank you, everybody, for your support. We do it for you guys. All we can do is to continue to put out informative, thought-provoking content. with a lot of ball busting. And I just want to thank DI and Joe. Couldn't have done this without you guys. And we will check you out next week. Thank you, everybody, for spreading the word to friend or foe and listening to Keeping It 100. Boom.
It's official. Desert Financial Credit Union proudly announces that once again, we've been named Arizona's #1 credit union by Forbes. And you know what makes it even more special? The scoring came from our members. They rated us tops in convenience, kindness, and community. We love sharing success with our members. Our 2023 Member Giveback Cashback Reward was $16 million. Discover the difference and join the best credit union in Arizona. Get started today at desertfinancial.com.
Obtén los precios más bajos de la temporada de Macy's en especiales increíbles que necesitas para el otoño, como un 55 a 65% menos en abrigos de vestir y casuales para él y para ella, 30 a 60% menos en deslumbrantes joyas finas durante nuestra venta de diamantes y un 65% en cómodas sábanas y juegos de cama de Charter Club Damask para mantenerse abrigado en las noches más frescas. Además, descarga la app por aún más ofertas increíbles en Macy's. Ahorro sobre precios en oferta y liquidación, aplican excepciones.
Please support K100 with Konnan and Disco at the Patreon site, patreon.com/Konnan or Konnan.me. As we mention every week, we review AEW Dynamite, Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views. You can also jump on roundtables with Konnan and Disco and enjoy the 6+ years of content. K100 with Konnan and Disco is, of course, available across all podcast providers, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever major podcasts are available. If you'd like to support Konnan, Disco, or myself individually, we all have Pro Wrestling Tees stores. Just check out ProWrestlingTees.com and enter our names. To submit an email for the guys to answer or a song for the Juicy Nick seal of approval, use K100questions@gmail.com. The Keepin' It 100 official YouTube channel, under Keepin' It 100 official, is run by Husey and has passed the 40,000 subscriber milestone. Get over there, subscribe, and check out the daily clips. JJ Claxton is running the K100 TikTok at K100 Podcast. Whether or not you're a TikTok user or not, download the app. Subscribe, like, or follow the channel. Enjoy daily clips. And, of course, I want to thank all the listeners very much. Every one of our shows, the numbers are going up. Patreon's going up. YouTube's going up. The show has grown, and it's all thanks to you. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.